back to the Unraveling Soprano. I'm Heather, and today is Vlogmas Day 12. We did it. We got here. It's so exciting. I'm so excited to be on the other end of this. This is super, super fun. But I just feel really very accomplished for actually getting all 12 days done. So today, what we're gonna do, I'm wearing my Christmassy sweater that is not me made, but it's hand knit. I've worn this once before. Um, we are gonna go through, we're gonna do the tea of the day. We're also gonna go through what I learned from Vlogmas and whether or not I think it's something I'll repeat next year. Um, yeah, so let's get straight into it with the tea. Today is the 23rd. Tomorrow's my last day of tea. Did I get all my teas? Just want to make sure I didn't miss any because there was like a half a week where I just didn't do this at all. Yeah, day 23. I have noticed that when you get through the month, like the teas, in my opinion, got better. Christmas. Sorry. It's Christmas. This is a black tea with cinnamon, orange, natural spice flavor, cardamom, cloves, ginger, natural ginger flavor, and natural cinnamon flavor. Why do they have cinnamon and cinnamon flavor? I don't know. I'm going to steep this tea. I'm not going to could put milk in it, but I don't think I'm going to. I'm just see if this let's end on just what the tea tastes like without milk. So I'll be right back. So that's gonna finish steeping, and I realized as I was putting it in that this might be a mistake because I've had a lot of caffeine today. This entire vlog video might just become frequently chaotic. I feel like we started off strong, and then the chaos just kept creeping in, which I really think is a great like window into what my channel is probably gonna be. All right, so lessons. While that's steeping, let's talk about some of my lessons. So I have 10 lessons that I've learned from Vlogmas. Um, the very first lesson that became very apparent, like I want to say by like Vlogmas Day 2, was I need to prepare for this more than 2 weeks before December. Because I'm pretty sure I woke up like I may have given myself 3 weeks, but it was in November where I was like, huh, I should do Vlogmas, and I am happy I did that, and I just went for it. I am happy that was a decision I made because I don't think that I would have ever gotten to the end of it if I didn't just say let's give it a go. So while I think that if you have a channel and you're thinking about doing Vlogmas, just do it and don't worry about prepping. But if I do it again, I'm gonna really give myself enough time to just consider what is it that I want to do, instead of just kind of like making a plan and then going, oh, that's not gonna work, and then making new plans. I mean, I feel like I'm gonna have to be flexible regardless because that's just kind of the nature of filming. Like you don't know until you get there if something's gonna completely work. But I think if I gave myself like maybe a month and a half to go, okay, this is coming down the road, um, maybe I'll hold off on certain projects that'll make good, like that will be easy to do when I'm filming a lot versus projects that are the progress is really really slow, and so I get to put those on hold. I think I would have like some of the sweater projects I started before November that had to be like put on hold like almost for the entire month of December. I think I probably wouldn't have started those because I hate having things just hanging out on the needles, and they had to just sit there while I got all of this Vlogmas content. But if I had the forethought, I would have either finished those projects up before Vlogmas, or I would have been like, let's wait until January. So that is a great lesson to learn after this process has completed. The second thing I noticed that this was pretty good for subscriber growth. I had now we're talking like super super small numbers because I just started this in like September. but I had 11 subscribers. Now I have 24. And that is really cool. Like, that is a really cool, like, I doubled my subscriber growth. Granted, we're still like very, very small numbers. And if you are a subscriber, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you being here and coming back every week. It just kind of gives me the momentum to keep doing this. I don't think I would have done this at all if my Vlogmas um views didn't, if my Vlogmas content didn't get views and didn't get subscribers. I think I probably would have stopped halfway through if I didn't see any um result or product of what I was putting out. So if you watched a video or you subscribed during this time or you subscribed before, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your support. The second thing is I think Vlogmas is really great for filming and adding new filming skills because so before I started Vlogmas, everything I was doing was podcasts, and everything I had filmed before I started this channel was just very much like this camera and me talking to the camera. And that is one set of skills. Like I know how far the camera should be for my face, what like lens length or like what lens length is that? I don't know. But like where to set my camera. I know the settings that I need for this type of thing. I never really used my phone before. I did like years ago when I do filming for like educational stuff. Um, but that was before I had a camera. Once I was able to get a camera, I was like, oh, let's just use the camera because it's gonna get better quality. Using my cell phone for filming is actually just super convenient. Like I was able to actually film more because I knew I didn't have to get this whole setup out, and I could be a little bit more creative in some of the angles that I was doing because I had the mental bandwidth to like fuss with it. Where if I was using my camera, my mic, my ring light, I don't know if I have the bandwidth to figure out as many angles. So it was really nice and I think that like I have some ideas on how to like change the way I film in the future if I want to do like B-roll. Because I really like to be able to get a head down shot. And I haven't quite figured out how to do that with the phone. So if you know how to do that, put that in the comments. Because I know a lot of people use those little GoPros. Is that what it's called? Like those, like basically they're action cameras. I don't think I want to invest in one of those, just because I don't want to learn any more tech. I know how my phone works. But yeah, I thought that I was able to be more creative in my filming, and I ended up liking the end result. And also, it was great for editing. Being able to do this consistently made me get into an editing flow and made me a lot more confident with my editing software, which I thought was really good. Just realized my tea is probably over steeping, so hold on. I really should set a timer when I make tea. So we've just gone to the first two. We're gonna take a tea break before we get to the rest. Oh, that's nice. Probably better with milk, but I'm gonna drink it black. Everything's better with sugar, but I'm not drinking sugar. That's really nice. I like that. Okay. 3. No, we've already done 3. That's what we just talked about. So, 1, prepare. 2, great for subscriber growth. 3, great for learning new film skills. And then 4, I need to be better at prepping crafts. Because I feel like with Vlogmas, there's a couple different ways that people do it, but I really tend to gravitate to those who are a little bit more creative with not just like the stuff that they do, like doing crafts, but also using stuff around the house. Like that's the kind of stuff that I'm like, oh yeah, like that's what I'm interested in. So that's kind of what I want to do. Like let's not spend a whole bunch of money on creating crafts. let's use what we have around the house. And I think that if I would have given myself some more prep time, I would have been able to be more creative with the crafts. I think I did. I mean, the wreath I did completely with stuff that I have on hand. Obviously, the baking you can do with most of the stuff that you have on hand, unless you're out. But like some of the other crafts, oh, and this garland, completely what I had on hand. Um, but some of the other things that I had to like purchase, um, no regrets on that gingerbread house though. I think next year I will do a pre-made gingerbread house because I just think it saved my sanity. Like I love baking. I'm okay with baking, but I don't think I could do something that would be sturdy enough to actually create a gingerbread house. So I think that one I'm gonna give myself a pass on. But some of the other like buy it at Michael's and make it, I think that while I like the end product, if I had a little bit more time and I did a little bit more prep, then I could completely do things that were just stuff you might have around, um, instead of just like purchasing stuff. So if I had more prep, again, that kind of ties into number one, but especially with crafts, also to start the craft before the day I'm filming because I want to be done with the craft by the end of the video because I think that gives a good story to help my sanity start the craft before. Like just get a little bit more of a system going. And I did that with the wreath and I realized that like that was the way to go. I completely finished the garland before I started filming. But the little nutcracker, I didn't start at all, which I guess I wouldn't have done since everything was prepped. But if I do more like scrappy crafts in the future, I think I'm gonna prep, like get most of it made and then film like the end part of the process so that it's a little bit more seamless and better for like my just, I was gonna say mental health, but not really. Just like my stress level. Yeah, okay, I guess mental health. But mostly just stress levels and time management. So number 5, having a film schedule is so very important. Um, I did this, but I think that like maybe I would do it a little bit more set, where this had a little bit more flexibility. Because I'd never done it before and I wanted to give myself that flexibility. I think next year I'll have done this if I do this again. Which spoiler, I'm probably going to do this again. um, but I think that um, if I had those dates really set in stone, I think that that would be better for just living my life. What I found the best schedule was film the day before and then edit that day. So like film like start in the morning, film, get clips when you can, and then like end at like 5 or 6, edit, and then you can post the next day. That had what I found was the easiest for me to do, and I didn't like the idea of like where my original schedule I ended up having like 2 or 3 filming like videos filmed on one day and I was like I can't do that. I'd rather do less, like do one complete video in a day than like starting to and editing to, because I thought my brain would like the fact that I'm just filming and then I'm just editing, but I actually preferred film, edit, release. That project is done. Let that go from my brain instead of film 2, edit 2, and then you have 2 projects in your brain. I didn't like that as much. Um, Also, I think that I'm not going to do my normal podcasts during Vlogmas if I do it next year. I think I might add more videos, but it was because of that process of having 2 projects in my brain at once. I didn't enjoy that as much. And also I didn't have much to talk about. I didn't have much to talk about in my podcast because everything was Vlogmas content. So the projects that I had been working on before kind of just had to hang out, and I wasn't able to work them work on them as much. Um, Six, and this is a really positive thing. I feel like this is the first year in a long time where I really feel like I did the holiday season. I think that life can get really, really busy and like you never know what life's going to throw at you. And I felt like fall is my favorite season. Love fall. But I feel like this year I didn't get to do fall because I was just my personal life just kind of like made it so that I was very stressed and not focused on anything fall related. Um, but Vlogmas actually forced me to put some of that personal stuff aside and focus on actually experiencing the season because I had to do it because of the content, but also like I'm really bad at filming in public, so I actually just ended up like doing the Christmas shopping or like being outside. And I do it for like film for like 30 seconds and I'd be like, all right, now I'm gonna do the thing. And it made for I just felt like I was more present. I feel like this is probably the opposite of what most vloggers say. But I felt like I was able to be more present and actually enjoy the season. And I think that partially is because I was so bad at filming in public. So I'd have these plans of doing these Christmas things, film for like 30 seconds, and then be done. But I feel like more professional vloggers would give that more time and like try to work about setting up the shot better. And I don't care about that. And I don't think I'm ever going to care about that. So if that's what you're looking for, but if you're looking for very messy, authentic, chaotic content, welcome, welcome. So yeah, so I really felt like I did the season. I did the holiday season, and I do think that like I would love to see. I'd love to do this a little bit more, not like as many days, but maybe for every single season, maybe put out a vlog for Noah completely selfishly, just so I can be a little bit more present and do things that feel seasonal. Um, yeah, I think that that would help me feel like more like that I'm using the time on this earth that I have wisely. So I might do that, and this might force me to do that. So seven. Oh, and in response to that, this has made me feel like maybe I can expand my upload schedule. So right now I'm uploading every week on Tuesday, and I don't know if I can consistently add a second video, but I might try. We'll see. I'm probably not gonna try it in January, because well, I don't know. We'll see. It depends on how much if I can find a topic. Really, that's what it is. It's not that the timing is not really what I'm worried about. It's I don't want to have stale content. Um, because my podcast is these are the projects that I'm working on, and this is my review of the pattern. Um, but a secondary video is not going to be a secondary podcast because that makes little sense to me. But if I can find like a topic to talk about, so if it's in like the spring of maybe a spring knitting vlog, or like so maybe like it's a podcast and a vlog, or a podcast and a sit down like these are my favorite patterns or this is my favorite yarn. More on that later. I haven't quite fleshed it out, but I do know that it made me realize that now that I've kind of figured out my filming, if I can just sit in front of a camera, or if I could just like carve out that extra hour or whatever for filming and that extra hour or whatever for, I mean, vlogging does take a little bit more in the editing, where a podcast, it's just, I hit play, or not play, I hit record. If I completely say something, like if I like accidentally curse, I'll take that out. But for the most part, I'm not editing. Um, It's mostly if I just say a curse word, because I know people can be sensitive about that. I hope I haven't cursed. I don't think I've cursed. Let me know in the comments. Have I ever cursed in my videos? I don't remember. But I try to take them out. I try to take them out because I do curse a lot in real life. Like a lot, a lot. You know what? I have a theory though that most people who've done anything in education, like most people who've ever taught before, like not in front of students, but like in your personal life, you curse a lot. So that's just a me theory. It may not be. It's not universally true, but for a lot of teachers I know, it's true. So yeah. So I think that maybe I can upgrade or do more videos. I just don't know what those videos would be yet. So the eighth thing I learned was I really would like more variety in the content for Vlogmas. Again, I think that's all kind of attached to prepping, but I didn't love that I had like two shopping videos. And also I didn't love that I had two shopping videos and they were kind of duds. Like like the filming was not great. I just didn't feel like the stores did the absolute most. I'm sure if I like went to a touristy city, um that like if I went to New York, uh that would be perfect. Like prime Vlogmas content. You go to Rockefeller Center, you get the picture of the tree, beautiful. But if you're stuck in wherever you are, like I just don't know. I was not impressed. So yeah, so more variety. I might do more like outreach beforehand. Be like, what do you want to see? Because I didn't really, because I don't, since there were so few subscribers, and I wasn't quite sure what my community was at the beginning, and I'm still not quite sure what my community is going to turn into. Um, but I think that if I have a like ability to like put something on YouTube to ask, I think on the community tab you can ask questions like what do you want to see for Vlogmas, then maybe I can get more variety. um and the ninth thing I learned was the filming schedule went by so quickly that I was unable to freak out about like filming in bad light or not looking my best, not having a full like face of makeup. I just didn't have the turnaround time was so quick. I had to like put my ego aside a bit, which I think is honestly for every soprano, it's always a good thing that we just put our egos aside every once in a while. um, and I was like, also like trying like it made me like I don't think the singing video would have come out if the turnaround schedule wasn't so quick because I knew that like I'd been practicing this like since November. And spoiler alert, the song is still not perfect. Like it's still not where I want it to be. But putting something out on the internet that is me singing when I know it's not perfect is such a scary thing. Um, because there are so many people and everybody like I mean people were lovely in the comments. But I think singers are conditioned to hear the negative feedback. Like we just expect it's coming, and part of that's because the negative feedback is mostly in your own head. There have been, I want to say, only like two or three times in life, where I've gotten negative feedback from like an actual audience member. I've gotten negative feedback from like teachers, and mostly it's preparation. It's not about my actual voice. It's like you didn't learn the thing. Um, but so I guess that's one of the reasons why putting something out that's not perfect also was like scarier because that is the feedback I get unilaterally is like the thing isn't note to note perfect. But I think it was good for me. I think it was a really good thing to just put that out there because if a young singer sees this, realizes that like, yes, your singing is valid even if it's not perfect, which is a really hard thing for classical musicians. Like to see the validity in someone's work, even if it's has wrong notes. And that is something I inherently believe that like something can be beautiful and a mess. you're not going to see that on the Met stage. You're not going to see that probably on TV, but like things can be beautiful and a mess. Also, I believe things can be beautiful. Like a singer can be a good, I can enjoy a singer's performance even if they don't have the best instrument, right? Um, this is going off on a tangent, but I believe that. Like, I think if they do the performance with integrity and emotion, and they feel it, if they miss a note, but it makes sense. Like, let's say you're doing like a really dramatic piece and your voice cracks. I love it. Like, and I know I'm in the minority, but I love it. Like, I think I would have been a real Maria Callas stan if I was able to see her live performances, because like her voice was notoriously inconsistent, and there's probably reasons for that. I think probably medical reasons. I don't think she was. I don't think she felt well a lot of the time. But I think I would have loved her because it's because she was known for her acting ability, and I think I would have been like, oh yes. But anyways, long tangent. I didn't have to wrapping that up. I didn't over edit, and I think I liked that because I think there needs to be space on the internet for people that are just not perfect, because perfection. I had one. I was in a job interview for a job at an opera company, and one of the founders or CEOs or whatever, he said, "I don't want perfect people because perfect is boring." And I was just like, "Ah, light bulb, perfect is boring. It's so boring." So I think that like having things not perfect on the internet is a good thing. It's just more entertaining, and I just prefer it. And I also think that there can be imperfect but kind, right? Like that's kind of what I try to go for. And then finally, Vlogmas is kind of hard if you're not trying to sell things to people. Like I found that with my shopping videos, like people in my life were like, "You should do a haul," and I'm like, I don't want to sell things to people. Like I think eventually, if this channel gets big enough, I will probably have to do some like sponsorships. Um, and I might like I could see myself if I was gifted yarn or something, like talking about the yarn, I could see myself doing those types of things. But like showing you my Target haul, I can't see myself doing that. Just because one, I think it's kind of boring, and two, there are enough spaces on the internet that are going to sell you lots of things that I don't really want to do that. And I also don't have the reason to do it. Like I do think that like I'm open to the idea of sponsorships in a very curated way. Like I can never see myself like doing a sponsorship for Amazon or anything like that. But yeah, a lot of Vlogmas content is just like, here's this shiny new thing that you should buy. And I think that's part of like just the season, because everybody's like looking for a gift for somebody. Um, and yeah, I just don't, I'd love to like take the next year and look for creative content ideas that don't involve selling you something, because I just don't think it's needed. Um, and there will probably be times in the life of this channel, if it gets to a certain size, that I might need to sell. Like I might need to do a sponsorship, so I don't need to do it on Vlogmas if I can avoid it. But yeah, so that is what I learned from Vlogmas. I do think it was a really positive experience. I'm really glad I did it. I do think I'm gonna do it in future years. And I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you leave me some feedback on what you think I did well, what you think I missed the mark on, because it's just, this is a learning experience. Um, and I can only get like better if I know like what people want to see. I'm not going to promise I'm going to take everybody's suggestion, because people can't do that. You're never gonna please everybody. But if I don't know, I don't know. All right, so that wraps up Vlogmas 2024. I hope that you had a great holiday season. Um, and that you are able to spend some time with loved ones, that you are able to just relax, um, unplug, if you will. Um, Watch all the cozy content. I hope you're warm. I hope you have plenty of knitting, tea, coffee, all those lovely things. And I think this might be my last, I think this is my last video of 2024. So I've got some fun things planned for 2025. And I hope you'll join me. So if you haven't already, and I probably should have done this at the beginning of the video, but I'm doing it now. So if you haven't already, please hit subscribe if you liked what you saw, like, and I hope I see you in the comments. All right. Thanks so much. Bye.